Finished.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Timothy Black. I'm here to give you a short speech on gun control. Let's go. Yeah. You all are in the Army, so I know you've seen firearms before. According to the FBI, 8,124 people were killed with a firearm in the year of 2014 alone. It's a lot of people. This is important to you because any one of you three could be one of the people who was shot. As a concealed handgun license holder, I've been studying gun violence for a couple of years now, and that's why I'm qualified to discuss this with you. The areas with the most gun control are also the areas with the most gun violence. And the areas with the highest level of guns are also the areas with the lowest number of gun violence. We need to take a multi-approach method in order to solve this problem in America. I will prove this by discussing three major cities, a small town, and a possible solution. Let's start by looking at Washington, D.C., Detroit, and Chicago. These areas are always in the top 10 for the number of deaths due to gun violence every year. Washington, D.C. had 13.9 murders for every 100,000 citizens in 2012. They also require you to register all ammunition. Any ammunition purchased by an unregistered firearms owner is illegal. Those who don't have, or who purchase a firearm in a different state and take it to DC, it's illegal. And magazines are limited to a certain number of rounds. I believe it's 10 for a handgun and 15 for a rifle. Maybe it's 5 for a rifle. Chicago had almost 500 murders in 2012 alone. Until 2010, Chicago had a ban on all handguns, and until 2012, they banned all gun shops, and Chicago lawyers sue any gun shop that sells a firearm that is found in Chicago, whether it was used in a crime or not. Detroit had 54.6 murders per 100,000 citizens in 2012. These are some pretty high numbers. This brings me to my second point. In 1982, Kennesaw, a small town in Georgia, made a law that every household must own at least one firearm. From 2012 to 2015, the town of Kennesaw had 1 murder and 8 rapes. That's it. In 5 years, 1 murder. While any life taken is a tragedy, that number is astoundingly low. People who study crime study these numbers as a measurement out of 100,000. Kennesaw is a town of approximately 29,000 people, which means they have a murder rate of 4 out of 100,000. This brings me to my third and final point. No one should bring up a problem without also trying to bring up a solution. Kennesaw proves that guns aren't the problem, so what is? Part of the problem is that our background check system isn't fully enforced. In order to buy a firearm from a registered gun dealer, you have to go through an NICS background check, which is run by the FBI. However, some people don't do that. They'll go to a private person's house and buy a firearm from them, or they'll go to a gun show and buy a firearm, and they don't have to go through a background check. The federal firearm background check is crucial to finding those who shouldn't be buying firearms but are. We need to remove this gun show loophole and then hold people accountable when they actually break the law. This brings me to my conclusion. In this discussion, we talked about how strict gun laws can lead to an increase in violent crime and how access to firearms for self-defense leads to a decrease in violent crime, as well as a possible solution to firearms violence in our nation. I urge you all to call or write to your senators and representatives, point out these statistics, and let them know that we, as the American people, believe that we should have the right to defend ourselves. I encourage you all to think long and hard about how you look at firearms. Thank you.